Hi, hello friends. Welcome to World Explorer India. Today, let us discuss about food safety. In India, we have legislation that is food safety legislation in India. According to Food Safety and Standards Act 2006, FSSAI was established, and its role is to provide the standards for articles of food, regulate the manufacture, storage, distribution, sale, and import, and to ensure the availability of safe and wholesome food for human consumption. These are the food safety hazards. Food safety hazards include any type of damage occurring to humans because of the food. It can be of three forms: it can be physical, biological, chemical. Physical is because of improper packaging, like sharp objects. If there are stones, woods, glass, bones, shell pieces, metallic objects which are used for the packaging, if they are not in proper, then it is going to give cuts or bruises for the person who is handling the food products. And biological hazards include the food is getting contaminated with the microbes such as E. coli, Staphylococcus aureus, Vibrio cholera, causing the diseases. And also it may be chemical intoxication with the heavy metals such as lead, mercury, or sometimes because of pesticide residues, antibiotic residues, hormone residues, biotoxins, and aflatoxins. Aflatoxins are the carcinogenic chemical agents which are released by the fungi, and hormone residues and antibiotic residues are very common in the veterinary or animal related food products. Sometimes farmers do give excessive hormones to the animals for increased yield and production, so because of which these hormone residues are being carried in the uh, animal related products. And sometimes pesticide residues are very common in if we are using in agriculture, the pesticides are more, again it will lead to the residues of this pesticide in the food. So food contamination can be of any all the above three causes. It can be physical, biological, or chemical. So it is making the food which is not edible. So it is called as food contamination. So these are the types of bacteria and viruses which are commonly seen in the food poisoning. Those are Salmonella species, Listeria, E. coli, Bacillus, hepatitis A virus, Vibrio species, Clostridium species, Clostridium botulinum, prions, Staphylococcus aureus, and Shigella. Chemical hazards include methanol, acrylamide, amygdalin, histamine, patulin, and lead, mercury, etc. In urban agriculture, because of the lack of water supply, they are using the wastewater for agriculture production, and again this wastewater is the source of salmonella, E. coli, listeria, etc. in the food which is being consumed by the urban people. If you are using refrigerators at home, ensure that the temperature is maintained below 40 degrees, and if it is deep freezer, it should be less than 0 degrees centigrade. And never keep any food in the refrigerator if power is off for more than 4 hours, and discard the food immediately. And if you are in doubt, means after opening the refrigerator you see lot of smell coming out of the refrigerator, it may be because of the contamination of food. So if you are in doubt, never taste that food, because again it can cause food poisoning to you. It is better to discard such type of foods. And if you know that there is a prolonged power cuts of more than 4 hours, ensure that you are going to get dry ice or block ice, so that you can store the food materials in the ice, and once the power is on you can get it back to the refrigerators. So contaminant can be added to the food or it may not be added, but it is because of the environmental poisoning. It can occur in any process, either from the start of manufacturer till it is reaching to the consumer. In between this food supply chain, you can see it can be because of the production, that is operations carried in crop husbandry, like use of pesticides, Animal husbandry, as we have seen, it may be the hormones or antibiotics or sometimes use of veterinary medicine. And there may be contamination in the manufacturer because of if there is no personal hygiene is being maintained by the person who is carrying out these manufacturing activities, again the food is going to get contaminated. Or it can be because of the wrong processing techniques or preparation difficulties. Sometimes packaging is not proper. Because of improper packaging also the food is going to get contaminated. And sometimes transport issues also will be there. Suppose if some of the foods should be maintained in the refrigerator, but during the transport if they are not able to maintain this cold chain system, then the food is going to get contaminated. So again there may be a cause of environmental contamination also. So any type of contamination which is making the food not consumable by the human being or which can cause danger to the human health, then it is called as a contaminant. So each and every food business systems or agribusiness or any food production system or hotels, they should have some of the good manufacturing practices, and they should follow good hygienic practices, and they should have a mechanism to identify the hazards, that is called as hazard analysis, and they should set some critical control points where they should safely distribute the food to the consumers. So food safety is the assurance that food is acceptable for human consumption according to the intended use, that is called as a food safety. So according to FSSAI Act, manufacturer, packers, wholesalers, distributors, sellers are liable if the food quality is not being maintained. As suppose for example if the manufacturer is not meeting the standards of food production or preparing substandard food production, they are going to be liable. And if the manufacturer is doing perfectly the manufacturing process, but sometimes by distributor mishandling the food, or it is not stored in a proper format as prescribed by the manufacturer, or sometimes there may be misbranded or unsafe food. This is because some of the brands look the same with the same letters, same style and the same background color, but the consumer is going to get confused with the names because of those. So that is called as misbranding. And next thing is unidentifiable manufacturer. So each and every pack of the food should have the contact details of the manufacturer, ingredients of the product, and also the energy which is being provided for 100 grams of that product. All these things should be printed on the label of the food product. If you are facing any difficulty, you can contact the consumer care, or else if you are not getting enough resolution, you can contact the FSSAI. So it is responsibility of the consumer or the seller or the distributor. They should have the proper identification from where they have procured the information to take the legal action on the person who has preparing the substandard food. Again, the healthcare workers play a vital role in notifying the regulatory authorities related to food poisoning. If any such cases are being identified in the emergency or in the outpatient setting, so all these cases should be notified to the FSSAI. Food safety officers are the persons who are appointed by the FSSAI. Their role is to take the sample from the seller or distributor or the manufacturer. They can take the sample and they will give this sample to the food analyst. The food analyst will do some of the process for analyzing the food quality, and if it is substandard, that is again being reported back to the food safety officer. So based on this, they are going to give the penal actions, or they are going to give some notification for the corrective actions. So food safety officer has a vital role in seizing the food adulterant and sending the sample for the analysis. Sometimes the work of food safety officers will be impersonated by the sellers or the distributors. So sometimes they may give false complaint against the food safety officer. So if any false complaint is being given against the food safety officer, they will be liable for the fine not less than rupees 50,000, or it may extend up to the 1 lakh rupees. So penalties for not maintaining the standards of the food. So it is selling of food not of nature or substance or quality, rupees 5 lakh rupees. If it is a substandard food, it can be up to 5 lakh rupees. If it is a misbranded food, then it can be 3 lakh rupees fine. If it is a misleading advertisement, the fine can extend up to the 10 lakh rupees. Food containing extraneous matter other than the intended one, it is costing around 1 lakh rupees penalty. If they are not complying with the directions being given by the food safety officer, they are going to get the penalty of 2 lakh rupees. If the hygiene is not being maintained, or if there is unsanitary processing or manufacturing of food, they will be penalized up to rupees 1 lakh rupees. And if possessing an adulterant, food adulterant, then if it is not injurious to health, the fine may extend up to 2 lakh rupees, but if it is injurious to health, the fine will go up to 10 lakh rupees. Unsafe food manufacturer will lead to 6 months to the life imprisonment, and also fine of rupees 1 lakh to rupees 10 lakh rupees. So these are all some of other legislations which we should know. Those are Prevention of Food Adulteration Act 1954, Food Products Order 1955, Meat Food Products Order 1973, Vegetable Oil Products Order 1947, Solvent Extracted Oil, De-oiled Meal and Edible Flour Order 1967, Milk and Milk Products Order 1992, Essential Commodities Act 1955. This is related to the food, Section 10 of 1955. So the agencies play a vital role. International, national and state level agencies play a vital role in maintaining the food safety, among which the first one is FAO, that is Food and Agriculture Organization. This is going to give scientific advice on the food safety, and also it is being the consultation with the relevant agencies and the bodies, and also they give global expert consultation. Next is CDC, that is Center for Disease Control. They have suggested 4 steps for food safety, that is clean, separate, cook and chill. Clean is wash your hands before preparing the food, during if hands are going to get contaminated, and also after preparation of the food, before eating the food. So you should hand wash at least for the 20 seconds under the running water with the soap. Next thing is separate. If it is a vegetarian and non-vegetarian, if it is a flesh related products, you should separate them from the vegetable products so that the contamination will be minimal. Next thing is cook at a prescribed temperatures by the CDC. You can go through the website of CDC to know what all the temperatures are recommended by the CDC for preparation of which type of food materials. And next thing is keep under the refrigeration. As we have already seen, it should be less than 40 degrees centigrade, or if it is a deep freezer, it should be less than 0 degrees centigrade. Next, again in India, ICMR, that is Indian Council of Medical Research, they are tied up with the National Institute of Nutrition under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So these are the persons who are responsible for maintaining the food safety all over India. So 1978 Food Safety Division was established under NIN. They are investigating the foodborne disease outbreaks, toxicological evaluation of the foods, and also naturally occurring food toxins, pesticide residues, food additives, toxic materials in the water and food. And they are also publishing the studies on the food adulteration. ICMR-NIN is having a good mechanism of risk assessment of food supply chain detection, capacity building programs for the persons who are involved in the manufacturer, production or the supply chain, and also academicians. They are going to give capacity building programs. And also ICMR is having some of the programs related to environmental monitoring, like use of pesticides in agriculture, and also climate change activities, and biomonitoring, study on human exposure to carcinogens, etc. ICMR-NIN is having one of the trademark program, that is National Program for Prevalence and Control of Fluorosis. Fluorine is very high in the areas of industrialization where it is causing the fluorosis, that is weakening of bones because of the fluoride combining with the calcium of the bones, so that making the bones are fragile and these persons are exposed to the fractures. So prevention of fluorosis is being done with the help of ICMR-NIN. Again, food safety on wheels. These are the ambulances for food safety which are being run all over India. So around 109 vehicles are present at present. They are going to visit the areas, remote areas also, and they are going to take the samples and analyze the samples to see whether standards of food being maintained or not. In 2022, we should get free from the trans fats. So majority of the manufacturers have taken resolution to limit the trans fats not more than 2% by the year of 2022. This is the state safety index, which is based on the 5 parameters, that is human resources, institutional data, compliance, food testing, structure, surveillance, training and capacity building, and consumer empowerment. Based on these rankings, they have ranking the states, large states, small states, and union territories. In the large states, you can see Gujarat, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu are top in maintaining the state food safety index, while Goa, Meghalaya, Manipur are the top in small states, and Jammu and Kashmir, Andaman, Nicobar, Delhi are top in the union territories in the year of 2020-21. So to summarize, to maintain the food safety, we need to have good personal hygiene, wash hands before, during, and after under running water with soap for 20 seconds. Before eating, touching sick persons, you should wash the hands. After toilet usage, touching pet animals, garbage, coughing, sneezing, touching wounds, touching flesh, uncooked wood, eggs. All the times you touch, you should wash your hands thoroughly for not less than 20 seconds. Never leave the food for more than 2 hours or 1 hour if exposed greater than 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Use hot soapy water to wash dishes of the flesh to avoid the contamination. Do like this video, subscribe, share among your friends. Thank you. These are the references which I have collected the information, that is from FAO, CDC, NIN, WHO, FSSAI, and foodsafety.gov. Thank you.